Welcome back to Reckless Banter. Today we are back again. I think we're going to be talking a little bit about Karmelo Anthony and
Yeah, we're gonna be talking some shit, I think, today.
yeah, whatever else comes along the way. So yeah, my name's Rain
I'm Amanda.
and we are here. Make sure you subscribe and follow us on Facebook and do all the fun stuff. And let's just go right into it. How's it going,
Let's.
Amanda?
It's going. It's going.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was raining pretty good, and now the sun's coming out. But I think we're supposed to get some more later. Is it raining up there?
No, it's sunny today. It's actually
Oh.
it's hot, but it's nice today.
Ugh, this muggy is killing me.
Yeah, it's awful.
And
It's
all these bugs can go to hell.
um yeah, I agree. Um yeah, we were getting pounded with rain for a little bit, but then now it's been sunny, so I don't know.
We'll
But
see.
yeah, so the whole Carmelo Anthony thing is pretty wild. Like a
Yeah,
little,
it is.
it's like like when you think you've seen it all,
No shit.
like
No
that's
shit.
the way it makes me feel.
No, no shit. I've been following the case since it broke. Um, and
Like
even when it
over a year or since they.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
for over a year. Like as soon as the news came out that that happened, I think it was either the next day after the incident. I can't because I can't remember what time the incident happened, but so I've been following it for quite some time because there was just so many different versions that came out, like typical, right? Typical media.
Yeah.
You get so many different sides, you get so many different
It's
versions. So I
so
was like,
bad too.
oh, it's awful, and I was like, "Okay, well, I try to hold judgment until we actually find out what the hell happened,"
Yeah.
right? Because I feel like if you pick one side and you're, like, really, like, die hard, like, "Oh, it was self-defense," or, "Oh, it was murder," and then you find out, like, it was the opposite, you look like an asshole, and I don't like looking like an asshole personally.
Not
So
unintentionally.
exactly. So it's like, okay, well, let's just take a breath. This is tragic. This is terrible. Whatever happened. So when did you hear about the case?
Well, I the name Carmelo Anthony, I remember hearing it a long time ago, but I never really
Hmm.
looked into it until it got real hot here recently. Um,
Ah,
so that's when I, kind of looked into it and like just seeing the whole thing, kind of from I guess an outsider's perspective of not really digging into it like you have.
right.
Like it was kind of open book, open close, whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you bring a knife to a fist fight and you win, you're also gonna, be
You're a
reprimanded for
murderer.
it. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's
Most likely.
it's just it's the craziest thing to me, and the way a lot of people are like saying the stuff that like it's gone to a like it's so backwards. Like I don't even know how to explain it. It's so backwards
No,
that
it absolutely is. It it breaks my heart because and this just kind of shows where we've been heading for the last like few years, I think, as a society. Crime, especially crime of a young person, right? A child, a minor, however you want to describe them, usually united everybody,
hmm
right? We could all kind of get behind that's a bad thing, right? Regardless of who did it, right? And you're 100% correct. The evidence in this case was very cut and dry. It was very unfortunately obvious what happened. And I think the at the end, I think the jury got it right. I think the sentencing is fair, but but I agree, the aftermath of making it a race thing, making it a wrongful justice thing, making it all of these things just kind of breaks my heart because it's like, how could we be so divided still over something that we all know is wrong?
and not only I don't mean to cut you off, but
No, yeah, you're good.
not only, you know, given the fact that black individual stabbed white individual it's the like they were underage when this happened. That's what makes it
Yes.
crazier, to the point where, like, I guess I can see why these people are so pissed, because the kid is young. They don't want
Yes.
to ruin the rest of his life. But the issue I have that with that is even after 35 years, he's going to get out and still have a good bit of little life
Oh,
left.
he'll absolutely do. And with the state law, he has to serve half of that before he can be up for parole the first time. So 17 and a half years he'll be up for parole. Now, I I tend to think they probably wouldn't give it to him the first time,
Mm-hmm.
just, and it'll also depend on his record while he's
I was going to
incarcerated as
say, if he
well.
goes in there and just is the best little angel he could possibly be, he could probably easily get out.
And actually show remorse and actually take
Right.
accountability, right? Because I think that's what we're missing, right? Especially with a lot of these younger offenders, is that we're missing the accountability,
Mm-hmm.
right? You made the conscious decision to do something irreparable. You decided to do that, right? Choices that we make, good or bad, are always going to end up costing you something,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, that's just life. That's just the world. That's just how it is. And so I think the lack of accountability on not only these young offenders, but their families, right? Because it's not just Carmelo that has been all over the place. With in the news and social media, you got um Sharilla, her documentary came out on Netflix a few weeks ago. You got a whole bunch of stuff going on, but I feel like the parents are just as bad.
Yeah.
Really?
So he had a public offender or defender, right?
Yeah, after them trying to, and that's so gross to me too. Like,
I have a
you do a GoFundMe?
Yeah, I have a screenshot of it, and it was just under 700,000. I don't know if that was the final or
Yeah, I
I
think
actually
their
went to the
goal was a
site.
million.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
went to the site while it was live up and took a screenshot of it
Mm-hmm.
whenever that was, and it was
Right.
just under 700,000. And the other money his family raised, like they bought a house, like they did all this
They
stuff.
did. They bought a house, they bought vehicle, they did all this stuff while he was, right. Remember, he was being held the whole time. I don't believe he was out on bail or anything. So, I'd have to go back and check, but yeah, they bought this huge house, they bought all these things, and then you're this baby that you are trying to protect, you're trying to help, because as a mother who has young adult sons, I completely understand wanting to support your child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And wanting to defend your child in your child's best interest. But that shouldn't come at the cost of vanity, greed, you know, all of those things. And the fact that you have a GoFundMe for your child for defense, because they could have used that money for a decent defense. Now, would it have helped him in the long run? Maybe not, but maybe he would have been set up better for his future appeals,
Yeah.
right? Or so, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. You would never know, but I mean, and no shade on public defenders. There are some damn good public defenders out there. Do not get me wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to, just because you pay somebody costs more does not mean they're better, right? Per se. But I think it's shameful and disgusting that you raised all of that money for a year to, quote, defend your son. And he walks in there with a public defender while you're, heading over to the courthouse from your fucking little mini mansion,
Yeah.
and you're like, and then you want us to feel bad for y'all. Like,
Yeah, I like that, and that's the thing. Like I was gonna say, 17 or 35 years, whatever. He's still got some life left,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
all the other kid gets is graveyard visits. Like he
I
doesn't
can't,
have
I
any life.
cannot, I could not imagine. And the fact that he died in his brother's arms, just when that fact came out, it broke what little soul I have. It really did, because I could not imagine. Because not only you're not in a place to provoke such violence,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're supposed to be in an area that doesn't even allow weapons to begin with,
And
not even
he had
any kind.
already been suspended for said weapon. And I read, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I did read this somewhere that he wasn't even supposed to be at that track meet
No,
or whatever.
he was not part of the team.
He wasn't even part of the
He,
team.
no.
I didn't know that, but I read that he wasn't he was suspended from that. Like they suspended him from school. He wasn't supposed to be there at all. And then
Mhm.
he still comes back with the knife. Like it's like he was looking for trouble.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's wild, man. That is that like I know my mom. I don't even think she would try to raise money. That just wouldn't be a thought in her mind. But she would
No.
want to do whatever she could to help me.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, I think as a parent of a child that you care for, it's human nature to go through the denial, right? Like, there's no way my child did that. There's no way, I completely understand that wholeheartedly. I also understand wanting, again, to support your child, which I do not blame them for wanting to support him. He's a young man. He was I mean,
No matter what your
you
kid does, you're still their parent.
absolutely, and your job is to be there for them and help them through things. But again, it shouldn't come at the cost of
Another life.
absolutely. I mean, that's just it's devastating. It's just absolutely devastating. And I I think I can't remember exactly what the statement was made of the victim's father after the trial and the guilty came through, but it was very good. But I'm just so tired of making everything a one side or another, whether it's a racial side, a sexual side, a belief side, whatever side. It's like everything doesn't have to split us up, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't have to, we don't have to buy into this crap of, well, you're not you're not this type of person if you don't believe this, or you're not with us if you don't think this. Like, no, like this was a horrible tragedy that should not have happened.
It shouldn't turn into a race thing. It should turn into, okay, let's look at the parents. Like why did this kid
100%.
even think this way? You know, why did
Yeah,
like he's just pulling thug moves like
absolutely.
obviously what he's been surrounded by or whatever has turned him into this. Like a pit bull is not born a mean animal.
Absolutely
I
not.
mean, although, based on science, certain genes can get engraved into humans and animals that can be instinctual, but again, it's all in how the dog's raised, I personally believe. It's
Same.
all in how the kid's raised. Like it doesn't just magically happen. My beer has arrived.
No, it does not.
Thank you.
It doesn't just it's not a switch, right? It's years in time of conditioning to
Mm-hmm.
feel a certain way, to expect certain things of yourself, right? I mean, we start with the most basic, what kind of man do I want to be, or what kind of mom do I want to be, or what kind of employee or friend, or like all of these things, and whatever your life experiences are, so on top of what the people around you are teaching you, and all the morals and things that they're embedding into your person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Completely depends on what they think, right? It's about like what are their priorities, which will end up being your priorities,
Yeah.
right? What's more important? I was terrified raising two boys.
I believe it.
Absolutely terrified, because again, all it would take is just being not even them, But if they were just around the wrong people or in the wrong situation, their lives could be fucked at no fault of their own other than just being at the wrong place with the wrong people, right?
Yeah.
And it's so scary, and I can't imagine. And again, at the in the last place you would think of, at the last in the last, like, it's a track meet. It's a high school track meet. You know,
Yeah.
it's a bunch of kids. They're running. They're doing their thing. They're athletes. They're doing their school thing. They're with their friends. They've got their cheer sides, and it's just like, again, one conscious decision after another led to what happened, and that's just, at the end of the day, that's what matters.
100%. There's a I'm sure you've heard of the girl that got stabbed on the rail car thing at in Charlotte a while back.
Yes.
Irena something. She was
Yes.
something.
Her. Yeah, her. I cannot pronounce her name, but I do
Yeah.
know who you're talking about.
The
Yeah.
the guy that stabbed her.
Didn't he
Um,
get released
I don't
again?
I don't know if he's been released or not, but he had been released 14 other times for other things, and like
Mm-hmm.
then this happens, and now I think every time he goes to court or something, they always say he's too incompetent or he's not.
He's not like fit to stand trial,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
okay.
something I can't remember the word, but that it's just it's insane because like there is video of this happening
Yes. Yeah,
coming up
I've
from
seen it, and
behind
it
her,
was
and
devastating.
he's too stupid to fucking go on trial. Like, come on, like what the
Well, and I
fuck?
well, and that's the thing too, because it's like, with not only him, right, but so many. I mean, for whatever reason, right? We need some sort of like universal intervention or something, but for some reason, they love to release or give grace to like violent offenders
Yeah.
over anything else. Like, no offense, guys, I don't really give a fuck if some like white collar douchebag, didn't pay his taxes for 5 years
Mm-hmm.
versus somebody that, is locked up for assault or rape or, whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck about the white collar bullshit,
Yeah.
right? That only hurts the people that they did it to. I don't really give a fuck. But violent offenders, they hurt everybody because it's not just the victims, right? It's their families, it's their friends, it's the people that they leave behind, not only the victim, but you know the the offender as well. So, but it pisses me off so much when they release a violent offender, or they talk about how, like, oh well, this person's not fit to stand trial. Cool, well then hang them, let's just go on with life, right? Like, at this point, like, what are we doing as a
Yeah.
society, right?
No normal thinking human would think it's okay to just send this guy back out. Like
No,
it makes it
no.
literally there's no sense to be made.
Well, and then when they do it again, everybody's like, "Oh my God," clutching the pearls, just shock faced, like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it. Really? Because that's the 23rd person, right? Like, I saw this, I didn't get too deep into it, so please forgive me because I don't, I just remember like the general story. I believe he was in his 80s. This 80-something-year-old man got arrested for murdering his girlfriend, and apparently has been incarcerated 3 prior times for murdering his girlfriends
Jesus.
in the past. His first arrest was in the like 80s, 70s, or the 80s, and he's like, and then he'll get out, and then he'll kill his girlfriend, and then he'll get out, and and I'm like, again, do we really need to wait until the 5th time for us to be like, is this a pattern, or
And it's something that happens more often than not. My
Mhm.
my aunt, I think I've mentioned her to you, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that guy was murdered a 8-year-old girl or something, and then was released, and then murdered 2 more times.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, do you think they were like, I mean, do you really think if you're programmed, right, we'll say, to be that type of person to where you thrive on violence, you fantasize about violence, right? Whatever that violence is. Do you really think that they're just going to do it one time?
Right.
Really? I don't think so. I mean, because you're not. I mean, as a society, we're not expecting you to only do drugs one time, right? And there's a whole ass war on those things. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the fuck we don't think that, yeah, if you're as quick to say a child has some kind of mental or learning disability or issue or personality disorder, why do we give such grace and pause to violent offenders? To be like, oh, they're fine. But you want to put every freaking child right in the 90s on Ritalin. I don't know what the drug is now, but everybody has to have something. You're on the spectrum somewhere. You have to have ADD, you have to have ADHD, you have to have all these things. It's just a constant thing, but it's like, "Oh, oh, little man who murdered somebody. Oh, you're not going to do it again, are you?" No. Okay. Well, you go on out and you live your life. No, absolutely not. And if you can't tell, I am pro death penalty.
I mean I am as well, and but I'm pro. Like if this is somebody who is just just cold blood mass murdered several many people, whatever, like yeah, just please, like, save us all the trouble. But
Yeah.
like for instance, Carmelo Anthony,
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to sentence him to death because
No,
it's too
I would agree
easy.
with that. No, I would agree with that. I don't think his case warrants a death penalty case, but I think a lot of people, what they take for granted is what constitutes the prosecution to even suggest a death penalty
Yeah.
sentence, right? Like it's a lot. Like it's not just like, oh, a fight broke out in the club and this dude stabbed a guy,
Mm-hmm.
death, like
Yeah.
they are the top tier worst of the worst most of the time. So, but no, I don't think I don't think somebody like Carmelo would have been like, I don't think he, nah, I wouldn't have done a death penalty case for him at all. He's young. I think it's more of, for him, I think it's more of a ego issue and a
Yeah.
perception issue than it is I am a violent person to my core issue,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think with his age, he would have enough time to potentially grow out of that or realize that that's not the best way to go about things,
Yeah, I mean that's
you
just,
know?
and that's a perfect example of somebody that young, they're not fully developed. So
No.
it's like going back to saying, like, I didn't feel like an actual adult until I was like 30 or older. Like
Mhm.
I still felt like a kid in my 20s,
Yes,
and
100%.
like there was just so many ways where I was immature, where now I'd be like, oh, I would do it this way now.
Oh, absolutely. And that comes with experience, right? Like that comes with
Right. True.
you, we learn more from our failures and embarrassments than we do our successes. So if you try something and you fail at it,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to remember that you failed more so than if you tried something and it worked, right? We we naturally kind of obsess more with the failure side and like, why didn't that work or what went wrong, what do I change, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I do think that when you look at a crime, it says a lot about the person who committed the crime and where their mindsets are. And I think a lot of times when you look at the circumstances, you can be like, okay, this person is fucked out the gate, right? Or this person, like Camelo, like, in again, in my opinion, I believe that, like I said, I think his problem is it was more of a perception and an ego thing. I think he wanted to be top dude and oh, look, I got a knife and it's going to boil down to his insecurities more so than a sexual gratification, right? Or a violent gratification of committing a crime.
Yeah. To go as far as using the knife is insane. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I I get it. Like, what if he just flashed the knife or threatened with the knife? You know, it would have been so much different
Mm-hmm.
than him actually
Having to
exerting.
take it out of his bag.
Well, even as far as that, like taking it out of his bag and swinging it around, you know, like that's one thing. But a thought in his brain clicked, and he pushed the knife forward. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, absolutely. And
that in
that's
itself is
where
an entire decision.
oh, 100%. That's where the intent shows, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you didn't have to. You were in an area that you weren't supposed to be at. As far in the video, it shows people are trying to diffuse the situation that he's trying to stir up, and he makes a valiant effort to stir some shit up, right? And egg
Mm-hmm.
them on, and a lot of them, um, they were being like, dude, just leave, right? Like, what are you doing in here? Like, it was the other team's area. It wasn't anything that it was. He shouldn't have. There was absolutely zero reason for him to have gone over there in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
right? And luckily for this particular case, we do have, again, like we've already said, very clear cut evidence of what went down, right? So I hope in his time, right, that he's able to talk to somebody and maybe kind of work through like where that stemmed from, right? Like, did it stem from parents, or did it stem from friends, or did it stem from, like, where did you get this idea that bringing a weapon somewhere makes you big dick,
Yeah,
right?
and he was 17 at the time,
I
right?
think so, 17 or 18.
There is
He's
not,
he's 19 now.
well, regardless,
Mhm.
there's not enough life experience
Mm-mm.
to be had within that first 17, 18 years to, unless based on your surroundings or your parents or whatever. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
know how well off his parents were prior to all this, but
I'm not sure either. I was trying to remember
I want
what
to say I
their
feel like I heard
circumstances, but
they
I
were
don't
pretty well
think.
off, but
Yeah, I want to say this was kind of like a somewhat, I mean, it wouldn't be considered middle class anymore, right?
right.
Because we don't have that. But what I would have grown up considering like a decent area,
Like they're
right? A
they're
nice
okay.
school. Yeah, it was I don't know about his school, but I know that the school that they were at was in a good school district, decent. Like, it wasn't, he's not in an inner city. He was not living in slums as far as I know. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but so again, is it because of like friends kind of persuaded, like
And in Texas, like it
influence?
seemed, like
Yeah,
not in
like
some inner city, like in Texas, like it just. And but another thing too, like those were high school teams, right?
mhm.
Like it
Yep.
looked like a way bigger event than.
I want to say it might have been a county. Like, I think it was some kind of, like, it was towards the end of the season, I think. So it might
Gotcha.
have been when they were starting to do like the finals and all of
Yeah,
that stuff. So I do think it was like a bigger.
but nothing about that whole, like just based on pictures I've seen, nothing looks like thuggy. Like
No, no, nothing. No, nobody looks like they live in poverty. Nobody looks like they're not being taken care of as far as like food and education and things like that. Like, everybody looks well put together on both sides,
hmm
right? And it looked like the school itself, again, like I said, it kind of reminded me of my high school. And I grew up in the snob side of Cobb County. So I was it looked like a good area. And again, there, as far as I mean, I'm sure there are, obviously lower class areas in Texas, but I
yeah, I
mean,
was
it's not like it's Detroit or
yeah.
outside of Chicago,
Well,
something to where you hear something of this kind of magnitude of violence and be like,
well,
damn.
like where I went to high school and lived and everything, it it wasn't like the in Mooresville, yeah, there's lower class areas like you said, like, and there's everywhere.
Yes.
And it's like I think about like maybe at my high school, like at a track meet or a football game or whatever it may be, like
Mhm.
I like to think that would never happen there, but I could see it happening there as well. And
Mm.
like I think about back in high school, like there were some people that I would think could potentially like
Oh,
I knew
absolutely.
this one kid that I was genuinely afraid of. And this is crazy, but I used to live in these apartments with uh a ex girlfriend. I was wondering if you knew her or met her, but that was way before. But
Oh, okay.
I was living in these apartments and we didn't have a washer and dryer, but they had like a area to go wash your clothes and stuff.
Mhm.
And I was taking clothes there one night. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and that dude and two others were there. And
Oh,
yeah,
no.
and I walked in and there's no way they couldn't sense the nervousness on me.
Like you were about to piss your pants. It's okay, you
Yeah,
can say it.
and like they were cool to me. Like I put my
Yeah.
clothes in and everything, and like the one kid like never liked me in school for some reason. He would always like try to start shit with me and this and that. And that's what made me the most nervous about walking in there like that, cuz I was
Mm.
like just waiting cuz I like these particular guys that I went to school with, like I knew another kid which I think he kind of provoked it, but me and this kid went to Food Lion one time to get something or whatever, and when we were walking back to the car, they three guys saw him and he started talking shit. They started talking shit. They came over to the
Mm.
car and fucking just smacked the shit out of him. And
Oh, hell.
he hit the side of the car and everything. Like they didn't give a damn.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and
Well,
it was
shit.
wild. And so like I can like it could happen anywhere, literally. Like you
100%
can live in a
yes.
gated community and still
It didn't matter. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Well, and I think too a lot of times like we grew up when school shootings were a thing and they started, right? Like we have school years where that wouldn't have even been a thought and we have school years to where it was a thought every day, all day. And I think a lot of the media fucking that shit up too kind of helped us ostracize people that we didn't necessarily have to, right? I
Mhm.
mean, if you wore a trench coat to school, you were going to shoot everybody up. And
Yeah.
if you wore black, you were going to shoot everybody up. And if you're this, you were going to shoot everybody. And at the end of the day, I think that it doesn't matter what kind of person you are. It matters of because I think it starts at home. I think it starts with your parents, right? Like I can't, and that's the part where all of these things that have happened, like with school and stuff like that, that's where I always start. Is like, okay, I know that I didn't know everything that my kids were doing,
Mhm.
okay, but I think I would see some signs
Yeah.
if they were that miserable
Right?
and that upset and trying to get to our guns. I think a thing would go off, an alarm would go off in my head to be like, "Wait, this isn't right." Like I knew, like I said, my kids sucked at lying and they were really bad at being sneaky. Bless them. It was kind of embarrassing sometimes, but if I knew that they were doing those things because it was like an innocent thing, right? Because they just thought they were going to get away with something or they thought they were just trying to whatever, it was no big deal. But I'd like to think that I would know
Yeah.
if it was a much more serious issue.
I mean, it's the same as like when you're dating somebody and all of a sudden you notice slight little differences and figure out
Mhm.
that they're cheating on you. Like,
Right, exactly. Or, you feel the change, right? You
yeah.
feel that vibe shift to where you're like, okay, what's wrong? Like even just innocently, if you've known somebody for a long time and you are around them and it's an instant and you're like, what's wrong?
Mhm.
Nothing. No, I know something's wrong. Like you're not your face is different, the lights out, something about you is wrong,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, I think again it kind of all goes back to starting at home,
Mhm.
right? And just starting with with like, I mean, our number one rule with the boys growing up was always just don't be a dick. I mean, it was
Yeah.
pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to remember. And it's like, just don't be a dick and you'll be fine, right? Just don't be a dick.
I don't know about other people, but like I've always been very good at recognizing habits. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
routines,
Mm-hmm.
habits, like I can have your routine down in a week and
Right.
know your every move basically. I
Stalker. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, I feel like it's kind of a natural instinct, but I don't know. It's just I've just always been really good about knowing people's habits, reading them, and everything. And like that's why I think about like if I had a kid and something started to seem off, it's like I wouldn't expect my kid to go shoot up a school, but I, you know,
Mm-mm.
don't want it to happen either.
Mm-mm. No, no, and that's the thing. Like that's why like I mean, because kids are gonna be kids,
Mm-hmm.
and in my opinion, um, I think that we're not honest with each other nearly enough
Yeah.
anymore. I think we're way too concentrated on lifting everybody up and validating everybody and all these things, which is not a bad thing, guys, but that also spawns stupidity, that also spawns justification, that right? Because think about think about these young people that are offenders, right? Because we see them the most, right? Obviously. So somebody had to lift them up to think that whatever they did, right, whether it was stab somebody at a school event or crash a car going 100 miles an hour into a brick wall, somebody had to lift them up and justify how they felt, right? And like make them feel like whatever caused them to get to that point was right, right, and was
Mm-hmm.
okay. And I think I mean I told Zachary this too, you know, because he was talking about his friends, and I was like, baby, I said, if somebody says something stupid or says something wrong, say that, right? Like it's okay to be like, dude, that's like the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Or no, man, that's not right. Like you don't do that to people, or you like whatever the case is, right? But like call them out, because with social media, the bad comes with the good. And I think more of the bad of it is getting people to root for and justify all of this stupidity and all of these certain feelings where it's like, no, you need to sit down, you need to take a breath, and you need to rethink everything that you just fucking said.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Right? Like you need to everything that came out of your mouth is wrong and you need to fix it. So, I think being honest with each other, and that's, I've always been like that. I don't sugarcoat very often, but so I feel like sometimes I'm jaded with this mindset, but you don't have to be an asshole about it. You don't have to be a dick about it. You don't have to be a piece of shit person about it. But like again, if somebody's sitting there being like, "Oh man, I'm going to bring my knife to this track meet." Why did nobody, and maybe they didn't know, but I highly doubt it. I'm sure he carried it everywhere. So it's like,
Yeah.
did nobody say, "Hey dude, what the fuck are you doing? No, you don't fucking need to do that," right?
Yeah.
Like,
I highly doubt anybody knew, or there was probably some people that have seen it in his bag before or some shit, but
I'm just saying.
I mean, even thinking about it, like the kid was suspended, and there had to be, uh, school employees at this track meet.
Well, it wasn't his school.
Oh,
Yeah, it was at it. It was they were the visiting team, I believe. It was
so did he
Austin's
go out of
school.
town to go to this place? Like,
No, I think it was within their district,
oh,
but
okay,
like within their county or whatever. But it was Austin's school, if I remember correctly. And the team that he came to quote support was the visiting team.
gotcha.
But you would think, I mean, and maybe there's just so many fucking kids, people
Yeah,
can't keep up with stuff
it'd be
anymore.
hard.
But I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, somebody, like maybe even somebody on the team would be like, "Hey, coach, he's not even supposed to be here," or like something. Because I mean, the
Yeah,
kids would know more of that kind of shit
Right.
the teachers would. I
And
mean, because it goes around school real quick when somebody gets
right.
suspended.
But I could also see how it could be easily overlooked. And even if
Yeah.
some kids did notice or, think, oh, he's not
Say
supposed to be here,
something. Yeah.
they 9 times out of 10, I don't think they're going to say anything
Well,
unless they
because
feel
what would you
threatened,
think?
like,
Well, right, because like, what would you think would be the worst thing to happen? All right, he came to the track meet. He's not supposed to be at school. All right,
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Because you don't think that something that bad is going to come from him being
I
there
mean,
when he's not supposed
we've all
to.
gone to school and known of people to get suspended for bringing a knife, but it doesn't necessarily make you feel threatened that they brought a knife.
No, no,
Like
not at all.
I've used my book bag to go camping and then gone to school and be like, oh fuck, I forgot this knife was in here.
No, yeah, no, that happened. That happened to Zachary actually. He always had his knife in his pocket, at home, right? Just have it to do
Yeah,
things and
right.
stuff like that. And he he was walking into school and realized it was still in his pocket, and he was like, "Oh shit." I think he said he like hid it under like his friend's car or something just cuz so he's like, "I don't even want to go in the building with it," right? Like it freaked him out so much. Oh my goodness, why did we let puppies in here?
Does
What
Darren
are
have
you
clothes on?
He's got clothes on. He just don't have a shirt on. I know you're excited.
Thought he was
Calm
out there
down. Down, boy.
helicoptering. Yeah.
Down, boy, down.
About to
I
come
know
through the screen on you.
that's my man's there. Okay, back off, you little hoe. Okay, I see you. I see you. Don't think I don't know what's going on between the two of you for years. Um,
We've had a special bond.
I love it though. I absolutely love it. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, because I mean, I'm trying to think. I think you're right because I'm trying to put myself in that situation. Like if I was the coach and somebody was like, "Hey, coach, Carmelo's here and he's suspended and blah blah blah," like, what the fuck am I gonna do about it, really?
Well, and even that,
You
like
know, like,
if a kid did come and approach a coach is like, okay, let's
like, okay, well,
just
it's like
overlook it.
he's not on the team. He's not with his parents. Like,
Most people be like, "What's the worst?" Like they're just not expecting the worst of the worst. Like,
well, exactly. They're not. They're like, okay, because like I'm sure his parents weren't there. I'm sure he got a ride from a buddy. You can't necessarily kick him out of school, right? I mean, where's he gonna go? I mean, hell, you can't even drop a child off of a bus, which I agree with, by the way, less than or more than a block from their home.
yeah,
So,
I feel like they should go in front of all their homes.
well, it depends on
I mean, I
the home,
understand,
right?
yeah,
Like
certain areas are harder for a bus,
it's a
but
little bit, or there's like no place to turn around. Like
yeah,
when we had the cul-de-sac, because initially when we moved into our house in North Carolina, the bus didn't go. It just came at the front of the neighborhood. So then when the boys started going to the high school, they would the bus did change and they started picking them up at the driveway because we were in a cul-de-sac. If we didn't have the
mm.
cul-de-sac there, they'd have to continue to pick them up at the front because there would
Oh
be
yeah,
no turnaround space. So, but I hate that. And then when I was watching the the Crash documentary on Netflix, highly recommend it. Pretty sure pretty much everybody's seen it except for you, Rain. I'm sure you haven't watched it yet.
well, I stopped paying for my Netflix because I was trying to save money, and then all of a sudden, all this good shit comes out on
Dude,
Netflix.
there's so many good things now. Oh my god, I know. I was like, I went to like rework our Netflix because I wasn't gonna get rid of it
Yeah,
completely, right? But I was like, well, maybe I can downgrade us and on all this stuff, and I ended up not because we have more devices than what's allowed. But um, yeah, because I was like, man, they're not coming out with anything, and there's no documentaries, there's no nothing, and then like all this stuff started dropping, and I'm like, oh, this is so
yeah.
good. Ah, I've been eating it up. That's
I'm gonna have to get it back just so I can watch the Crash thing, so we can talk about
oh,
that. Because I
we
thought,
have to talk about it.
yeah. And
We
then
have
the
to.
roast of Kevin Hart. Like, I really want to watch
That I
that too.
haven't finished it yet because I keep forgetting to go
I heard
back
it
to.
was
I keep forgetting that I
brutal.
haven't. But like, dude, that first like even within the first 30 minutes, I was dying laughing
Yeah.
so hard because I was like, this is amazing.
Right.
Because with stuff like that, I always get kind of hesitant because I'm like, what is this just going to be? Is this going to just turn into a race thing? Is this going to be a
Right.
political thing? Like, can we just make fun of each other like we used to and just
Yeah.
laugh about it and it be okay? Like, you know, like can we just
I agree.
can we just call each other's names and laugh because it's funny and not have to worry
Right.
about other bullshit muddying up the water? Like not everything has to be about that, but no, it was funny as shit. It was pretty funny. There was some good ones. So yeah, I recommend that one too. But yeah, no, you have to watch it because one, it is also a crazy case, and two, it's very similar to where the evidence is pretty fucking obvious, right? Because
Yeah.
I didn't know about it until I saw people reacting to it, and I was like, oh. I'm like, oh, well, they must be reacting to it because maybe there's some kind of twist to it, right? Or maybe, maybe she was wrongly convicted or whatever. So I'm watching this documentary and I'm, if you take away the absolute stupidity that is coming out of all of these people's mouths, because it's every single person that speaks except for two people. I was just like, why are you allowed to talk right now? Why are you allowed to talk? You are an idiot. Um, but I kept waiting for the twist. And then, the trial starts and she's convicted and everything. And then I'm like, okay, so where's the twist? And then it ended and I was like, oh, well, that bitch is guilty as hell. So, like, why are we talking about it? So I had to go back to look at all of the videos I was seeing to figure out why people were talking shit about it. Cause I was like, I mean, other than her parents being absolute morons and so
Hmm.
hands off, it was sad, actually, to a point. And then all of her friends just being dumb Gen Z. Sorry, Gen Z, but God, oh man.
Speaking of, so are you a millennial? Are you considered a millennial?
Yes, I'm an elder millennial.
Okay. And I am also a
You are
millennial.
also a millennial.
So
Yes.
there's really good news for millennials. We
Really? Because we've
yeah.
never had good news.
The good news is the generation after us, Gen Z,
Sucks.
is the first generation in modern human history to be what was the word? Basically, they have on average a lower IQ because
I saw
so
that.
every generation is always a little bit smarter than the previous generation,
Right.
which makes sense, like
Yeah,
evolution in a sense or
absolutely.
whatever.
Absolutely.
But
And
Gen Z is
access to things.
officially gone down. And
Which is insane. But keep going.
it is insane, but it's very understandable considering all the tech thrown in their faces and instant gratification, and there's no actually learning. You just go find the answer.
Well, see, and I think they do the opposite, and I'll tell you why, because I was actually bitching about this yesterday to my friend,
Mm-hmm.
Cassie, shout out girlfriend. But Zachary's car was doing something and I looked it up and I went into research and I did all this and I said, okay, you've got, it could be one of three things. We're going to try the first one first because it's the easiest thing to switch and it's affordable, unlike an alternator. Um, and he was like, okay. So I was like, okay, well, call the auto store, see if they have one. He's like, okay. So he called them and we were texting, back and forth this whole time. So he's like, they don't have it. And I was like, well, when could they have it? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, well, okay, well, call back and ask, right? Like, come on, dude, right? So, long story short, he ended up not ordering the part because Tyler, his brother, was like, oh, it's probably not that anyway. And I initially got mad about that because I was like, why? Because I have a vagina and you think I can't read, that I can't possibly know what could be wrong with a car, right? Like, come on, guys. But I was like, okay, this is my problem. We've had both, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've had the library and we've had internet, okay? They have had internet their whole existence. But I think the difference isn't that they're just looking for an answer, because my problem with them is that they don't even try to look for the answer. Because I think because they've had the answers, or they could have the answers, they don't think to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
I have never once seen my children, especially outside of school, ever use the internet for anything other than watching YouTube and social media.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
never seen them like I've never seen them Google anything. I've never seen them research anything. Nothing. And I
and
think it's because they don't think they have, like, they don't think about it because they've never had to.
well, it's great you say that, because I think so. Like our generation, we're kind of a mix blend
Yeah.
of this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the day, and I'm speaking for myself, because like I feel like my brain is still kind of stuck back in the day when you didn't have it at your fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
Okay.
you like, say you and I are sitting somewhere and just talking, and like we go into a subject, and I'm like, I wonder what the speed of sound is, and we're
Right.
like,
Right.
I bet
Let
it's
me look
so
here.
fast, blah
Okay.
blah blah.
Right.
Just say that we have some kind of thing we come across, and we're like, I wonder what this is.
Mm-hmm.
It like we don't, or I don't, I'm still in that mindset where I don't have it at my fingertips, so it doesn't go any further than that unless I truly need to know an answer.
Right. Okay.
Therefore, like back in the day, if you really, really needed an answer, you'd go figure it out somewhere, you know?
Yes. You
And
actually had to
so
research it.
I think with and I don't know if that's you or everybody else or whatever, maybe it's just me, but I could see that, like if I had a kid, I could see that rubbing off on them, me not teaching them whatever you have a question for, just look it up, you know?
Well, we had, like, in our house, right? Like, we kind of had half and half, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Darren was definitely the one that was like, Google it.
Yeah.
I would be like, well, this and this and this, so that would mean probably this, but verify that I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I have an idea of how that would work, or why that's a thing, or what to do next, but just make sure that I'm right. Right? So it was kind of like a half and half thing. But even with our kids are so different from each other. Zachary is definitely like, he craves knowledge, but he likes the documentary. He likes to be told a story. He doesn't want to go find it himself. He doesn't want to look it up. He wants to be told about it.
Yeah. I get that. I would say I'm a lot similar to that. Like I like to learn, and I like to listen to podcasts, and I want to be told the information. I don't want to have to go find it myself. But
Right.
but since doing the podcast and kind of going from That Stupid Dating Show to Reckless Banter, when it was just kind of whatever, like I've just because of like the stuff I listen to, the type of podcasts I
Mhm.
listen to, it's urged me more to do more research and
Right.
do the learning on my own, just because like just when you talk about anything, when you have the information, it's so much easier to talk about.
No, it absolutely is. And as somebody who's a visual and a hearing learner, right? Because that also goes back to which you are. And I think a lot of people don't even know which one they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're in school, and this would aggravate Zachary so much, because they had to learn all these things in different ways, and he would get so frustrated, and he's like, because we were learning about this, but I'm not that type of learner. But we had it, and I was like, yeah, but somebody else in your class is, you asshole. Right? Like, you have to be general, and you have to get, like, sprinkle a little bit, because you've got 30 plus fucking kids. They're all different, right? You can't talk to you the same way that you can talk to Sally over there, or whatever. Like, everybody's different.
That's unfortunate, though. You
It
think,
is.
like, that's just
It is.
like it seems to me like there's visual learners and there's hands-on learners.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And if you're a mix of both,
like yeah, like I think about like you take a test before you even start going to school, and
yes.
they have two different school buildings. This one's for these people, this one's for these people. Not that they're
Right.
don't want to turn into a race thing, but you know what I'm saying?
We're not going to. We're
Yeah.
not going to because it's not.
But
Right.
it's just it seems very unfortunate, and even like school itself, I just don't think it's designed to teach life skills. Like I think we
No.
said that an episode
Yeah,
or two
well,
ago.
yes. No, it's absolutely not, but it that goes into conspiracy land forever, right? But I think I think the problem is that we make the curriculum so generalized to try to fit so many things into a short period of time, right? To where it's like you get little sprinkles, and if in whatever you like, right, whatever kind of perks you up a little bit, that's what you focus on, right? Like I was guilty of that growing up in school, right? Like when we heard of one of my favorite um, points in history was with Nicholas II, right, the last Tsar of Russia, and that whole craziness and what led up to it and what happened and all these things. And when I was a little girl, the lady who claimed to be Anastasia was a thing. So, and I remember hearing about her and being like, oh my gosh, she really a lost princess. Spoiler alert, she wasn't. But so I ate everything up about that, right? Same thing with like Elizabeth I. Remember learning about her and being like, "Oh my god, that's so fucking crazy," and just gobbling it up, right? But I think too that like that kind of stuff can be done on the side, right? I don't necessarily think that all has to be in school, right? Like I think that you need to learn how to cook food and how to sew and how to clean and how to organize and how to prioritize things and time management and taxes and business and math and all of those things. Like I think you need everyday stuff way more than, and this is coming from a huge history lover, right? I ate those classes up, but that could, to in my opinion, something like history could be a extracurricular class, not necessarily a,
Yeah.
you know
I think I would say a class to teach kids how to talk to each other,
mhm,
how to have conversation, you know,
communication, dialogue.
communication, dialogue
Mhm.
versus like I would put that above history,
Yeah, yeah,
just
same.
because
Especially as far as like life lesson goes, right? I mean, that's, you need
there's
that more.
there's so many subjects that are taught that are necessary for maybe 5% of the class.
Well, right, and especially these days, right? Because, before, right, and this is how I always explained it to Zachary when he was growing up. Because he's very high intelligent, right? Like, so it's not like he hated school because he struggled in school. He hated school because it just didn't make any fucking sense to him. Let's be honest. And it
Same.
doesn't, I don't think it makes any sense to anybody at this
I was
point.
I was told I have learning disabilities. I was put in special classes. Like I had a special period set aside called what was it called? It doesn't matter what it was called.
And
But
now we know why you were there.
yeah, well that was
And
good.
now we know,
That was
right?
good. Yeah. High five.
Love you.
That was awesome. But like it wasn't learning disabilities. Like I just didn't give a fuck what you were talking about. Like it like
Right, and I think that's a lot of kids, right? Because like
yeah.
even with Zachary, they were like, I think, he might be on a spectrum. I'm like, he's not. He's just tired of your bullshit. Let's just be
There
honest,
was no
because he has to be challenged, right? But not but also the kids that they challenged, you end up screwing yourself that way too, because then you get too overwhelmed, or they're like, oh, this kid's smart, let's put him in all of these Excel classes. And it's like, well, slow your roll, right? Like that's not necessarily what they need either, right? Like, yes, maybe challenge them a little bit, but don't overwhelm them, because they're still children, right? They're still growing and they still need to socialize and they still need to learn, because you need to socialize with all types of kids,
Hmm.
not just only the smart ones or only the music ones or only the drama ones or only the dumb ones, right? You need to still be with everybody.
It seems to me like it'd be pretty easy to weed through them and like put the dumb kids together, put the smart kids together, teach
Hmm.
them, you know, like
And
both of them,
we
teach
still
like
had separate classes.
teach like the life skills for both of them, but teach them in different ways. Like
Yes.
however these people learn, teach them that way. The smart
Have
people
that way.
just
Well, and I think, you have to want to do that. And I think the main issue is that they don't, right? They're underfunded, they're understaffed, but I also wonder if that's on purpose,
it has to be.
right? And
Like it just doesn't
because if we look at history,
if you
right? Because I do think that we you should know history, because you do learn from it, the good and the bad, right?
mhm.
Especially the bad. We don't want to completely dismiss what was bad, right? But we don't need to look at it in 2026 context either, because that doesn't do us any good. We need to actually look at it for what it was and why it happened. But if you look historically, um, cultures and civilizations that tore others down, they start with the education of the children, right?
Mhm.
You always start with the kids, because if you can feed that child certain information and leave out others, then that's what you have, the perfect person in
Yeah.
your
If
mind,
if you
right? Like,
truly cared about the future of the country, it seems to me like you would put as much money as you possibly could into the education system
yes.
to better the
Yes.
future of everyone.
Absolutely. The only thing too that I think we need to do, I think we need to get the federal government out of the schools. I think that would do a world of good, and I think we should go back to more of a state to state education system, because yes, we all need to learn the same life skills, but somebody, a student, say in, you know, Arkansas, would have different opportunities than, say, a student in New York.
Mhm.
And maybe they might have to cater their education a little bit, depending on, right? Because the whole point of educating is so that when you grow up, you can slot into society somewhere, right?
Kick you out of the nest and go live on your own. Like
Exactly.
that's
Like
the base of it.
yes, you are supposed to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, support yourself, but also become a member of society,
Mhm.
whatever that member is, right? And it could be a mechanic, it could be a doctor, it could be a farmer, it could be a nurse, it could be whatever. So I think, I think if we catered it a little bit more to the regions of the country that you're in and what opportunities are there, so that that child, when they grow up, they could be successful,
Mhm.
right? In whatever fields and things like that. I think that that's important. I think once you make it too big, right? And you make it to where the federal government is now also in education, it makes it too generalized. It makes it too much of a game at that point. It's like, "Oh, well, if you don't do what I want you to do, so then we're going to cut off your funding for education." Well, go fuck yourself.
I believe if you were to put all of America, let's just say America, under
Mhm.
a microscope and look at it for what it is, essentially, we're all just bred to be worker bees, you know, serving our king or queen, like
Yep.
that's truly all it is. Cause I don't like, yeah, we're free.
Mhm.
We can do whatever we want, but at the same time, everything we want comes with a cost. And if you
Mhm.
follow that money, it always goes
Well, and
about in the
yeah,
same place.
oh, absolutely. Everybody says if you have a question, you follow the money first. That's where
Mm-hmm.
you start, because that's going to end up giving you the answers you're looking for. But even if you look at ancient societies, they did the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the difference, right, that I think that has improved, instead of shitting on it so much, in a lot of countries and or ancient societies, they would pick what you were gonna be
Mm.
when you were 4, 5, and educate you to do that,
So it makes
right?
sense.
So you didn't have a choice to, well, I want to be a nurse, or I want to be a mechanic, or I want to be a plumber, or I want to do that, like whatever the case may be, right? It was like, okay, Rain, little 5-year-old baby Rain, you are going to work in a, fabric plant. So that's what you would learn, and that's what you would train to go do. And then when you could go do it at the right old age of 9, you went and did it, right? But it's like he's learned enough. He's got enough life experiences. Onward, right? But like, so I think the good thing that we still have and that we practice is that, okay, we're going to give you a lot of information, right? It's going to be a little bit about a lot of things, and you can kind of pick what is kind of speaking to you, right?
Yeah.
And I always said that I think the do what you love for work was like the biggest crock of shit, and it set people up so much more for failure, because if but that doesn't work that way. Like that's not feasible.
Well, I think I agree it's not feasible, but doing what you love, if that's what you truly truly want, I think there if there's a will, there's a way.
Well,
But most
how many children do you think just love snake in toilets, right?
well, I'm saying do what you love. Like nobody wants to go snake toilets, which that would be an issue because we need people to snake toilets.
We need that, right? But I,
But
I think, well, I think where the miscommunication happens is, do what you love, okay? But you still need a job,
well,
right?
of
Not
course.
everything you love can necessarily turn into a job. So then when somebody's out there working retail, right, and they don't love it, they feel like they're failures,
Well,
right? They feel like it's wrong.
when I hear people say do what you love, I'm thinking job wise, like do what you love to make money. Like that's the way I'm looking at it. And if you want to do what you love, you can work hard enough and achieve that. But most
Right.
people, I think, just aren't capable or willing to put in the work to achieve what they love because it is
Yeah,
hard.
it is.
It's hard to become
It
a
is.
professional baseball player. It's hard to
It
become
is.
a CEO. Like you might love that lifestyle, but it takes a lot to get there.
It
And I
does.
think that's what holds most people back, and that's why we have plumbers snaking toilets.
Yes, and much love to them. Thank you
Right.
guys, because I
And
couldn't do
some
it.
people
So,
love that shit. Some
and some
people,
people do. Some
like
people can, and it's good fucking ass money. I wish I could do it,
I mean,
right? But
I work in a trade, and I do love it. Like at times it sucks, but like I love what I do. I can't think of anything else I'd rather do right now, unless
same.
it was like entertainment or podcast, whatever. But
Right. No, absolutely.
I genuinely love what I do. But it's
Same.
like moving to where you like to vacation. All of a sudden, when you move there, it's no longer a vacation anymore, but you
No, it's
still
not
love it.
fun. Yeah, right, exactly. No, and that's the thing. Like, I agree with you. I too love my job. It doesn't sound like it sometimes,
Hmm.
to my family members that hear me on in,
I'll
in
bitch all
calls
day, every day about my job, but I love it.
and meetings. But I am one of those people that thrive off of fixing problems, and I thrive off of those things. So I do love what I do, but I would never have thought to go this, like, I found this by, I need a job.
Same. I
Exactly.
fell into
Not
cabinets. I need a job.
exactly like, hey, I was let go of my job. This job, no longer exists. I have to have a job. And I made the best out of my job, right? I figured out where I could fit in. But if I did what I loved, I could see where somebody in my, position would be like, "Oh, well then I failed
Hmm.
because I don't I don't love industrial fasteners. I don't love corporate life. I don't love the, blah, blah, blah. Like, if I did what I loved, it would be something like in the movie business or something in writing and things like that. But it's like, but I still do those things, right? I still get doses of those things without quote making it a job. So I just hate it because I feel like a lot of people just feel like they failed or they suck because they like their job or they have a good job, but it's not quote what you're passionate about. And it's like, well, it's not realistic. Everybody's passion isn't going to be what we actually need.
It's hard to achieve.
Function.
Yeah, it's hard to achieve, and even like you might want to do this, do that, but there just might not be an opening.
Exactly, right? Like,
I mean,
like, Zachary, when he was little, his favorite fictional character of all time is Indiana Jones. Shout out to the great Indy, right? So when he was little, he always told me that he wants to be a professor architect just like Indiana Jones. And I was like, okay, baby, well, the first part of that's a lot of school, and the second part of that is not a lot of money. And once as he got older, he realized that you're not finding the Holy Grail every day, and you're not, and you're not coming across a unfound tomb every day, and it's not always exciting. You're using itty bitty little brushes for years and years and years, and you might find a piece of a pot, right? And he was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to pivot.
yeah.
So I'm like, that's good, right? At least you learn, right? I mean, something similar happened with me because I wanted to be a marine biologist. I think all of us saw Free Willy and wanted to go that route.
Yeah.
Right? Great fucking movie. But then I realized that I'm not always like looking at really cool whales all the time. I might be in a swamp picking up parasites to study, and I don't want to do that. So
or stuck in an office typing about what you saw.
Exactly, right? So, I think it's very
if happiness came in constant doses, it wouldn't be happiness. You have to have the balance.
I agree. You have to have the dark to appreciate the light.
100%.
And vice versa.
Right.
Because
exactly.
you wouldn't know what the darkness is without it, without the light. So,
right.
I mean, there is pros and cons to all of it, I guess.
I love it.
But I think if you don't love what you're currently doing, then do something you love, at least on the side, right? At least kind of break up the monotony by a hobby, right?
Agreed.
Like, just, my husband finds 500 different hobbies. He hasn't picked one just yet.
Alrighty.
He's still looking.
Yeah. Well, this has been good. This is a good one. Good point to end here. Yep. It's been a lot of fun, Amanda. It's always fun. I swear we could literally talk about anything.
We can.
We can. Yeah. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. And
yes.
This is Amanda and Rain signing out.